I wanted to switch gears a little bit and talk about sort of your experience as a founder, especially as a female founder and a female CEO. I mean, I sometimes you don't want to kind of differentiate between that, and yet there are experiences that we all have being in tech that we all face. And so you are a female CEO building in a deeply technical world of B2B data and logistics. And so, what's been the most surprising about navigating this space?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think if anyone that knows me and, has worked with me for any period of time sort of knows that I sort of believe in waking up and then showing up, right? And then just doing the work. And so there's not a lot of thought around the demographic sort of aspects of it. I think probably what I've been most almost more touched by, like beyond surprised at this stage, is just how many people have helped me in small and big ways and rooted for me and continue to do that on this journey. I mean, I will now, a few years into this, job as founder CEO. I mean, I may even say that I feel like there's more support, and I don't know if it's a function of the climate we're in, the times, the world's changing around us, et cetera. It's hard to know that. But it almost feels in some ways that in this job, I've felt more support and more, yeah, just more support than maybe I ever felt in previous roles, right? And again, it's hard to know and pinpoint the reasons exactly, but I will say that I've genuinely just been blown away by, touched by just the sheer number of people from all walks of life that continue to support me and hence the team by extension on this journey.
That's so great to hear, and it's so encouraging for anybody who's listening who kind of wants to follow and your footsteps, or is thinking about their own founder journey or their own leadership journey in terms of how that might look like. And so I'm glad that you're kind of experiencing that, because yeah, it's so important for um, every founder to have that kind of support, right? And uh, even like have that seat at the table, or like sometimes even when you might be the only voice on the table, like what helps you stay true to your voice, or like make space for your voice and your own leadership style itself. And so is there anything there you can share, like what has helped you kind of stay grounded and stay true to your own voice and your own beliefs uh, in your founding journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that is just inherent traits. I think some people are just grounded or they're not. So I think some of it is just inherent. But I think potentially what also helps me is, I started this company, somewhat, I was mid-career, right? By the time I started my own company. And as you know, I've spent the entirety of my career in Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley is a big lab, right? And I think over the course of my career up until starting Crstl, I had seen either directly or indirectly companies, teams, people experience the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, right? And I think there's nothing like having been in a living lab that is Silicon Valley, where all sorts of experiments are happening around you, and some really take off, and maybe they should or they shouldn't have, and some should or shouldn't have, but they don't, and all sorts of outcomes in between. I think you really realize that there's too many factors involved in any company coming to existence, any company scaling, any company achieving product market fit, and like there's just so many variables. And so therefore you try to just control what you can control, right? And not to like get distracted by noise and distraction, et cetera, of which there's plenty. So I think maybe if I have to summarize, it's probably because I had sort of seen things going in so many different possible directions that I think it ought to keep you grounded on a undertaking and on a journey like this.